the product like it's Friday. I feel like I'm going through phases of like speaking awkwardly with my braces situation.
Do you feel like you're being awkward right now?
Maybe.
And did you feel pre braces? Now we're getting personal. Did you feel pre braces that, oh, look at me, I'm Mary and I'm awkward in public? Do you already feel
I
that?
suppose. I suppose.
And so now you're like, do you feel now you're more awkward as a result
Yeah,
of the braces,
more.
or different, like like a different timeline of awkward,
It's a
but
it's a
equivalent?
it's an awkwardness multiplier.
It's a multiplier. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know whether it's like an equivalent but different awkward or a multiplier. Now we've learned. Uh,
Yes. Anyway,
okay.
welcome back. Um, we did not do async like in the middle sessions.
But not yet. Zero. How do you feel about that? Actually, let's talk
I
about it.
okay. There have been days that I'm like, oh, I want to like do something. There's a part of me that's like, I don't know, like it feels like it's a one-way street, like momentum. It feels like if I like do more than the weekly thing, I'm setting up myself in the future to feel bad about not doing that.
Hold on. Wait.
If
I don't
that makes
understand.
any sense.
No. I well, it might make
No, that
sense, but
doesn't
I don't
make sense.
understand.
Okay, I guess more concretely, maybe like let's say a couple of days ago that I was like, oh, like it could be nice to work on Cocoon a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, ah, but like next week I'm traveling, and like
Oh, I
like
see.
when I feel like momentum, I don't know, maybe it's just me, like momentum feels like it needs to like go up or maintain the same level. Um,
Um.
it's hard. I find
Yeah.
at least for me, like it's hard to like pick momentum back up
Yeah.
once it has been dropped.
Yeah. Same. But I do feel like you should pursue the feeling, and put the future aside if you're able to, because I think it's so because you don't know how that action also modifies your momentum. Like, what if that one action then builds momentum? Then if you have an inkling of it, my suggestion would be to like hold on to it. It's so precious, the feeling of like, hey, I want to work on this is so precious. um, um yeah, yeah, like just before this we are just talking about me trying to exercise again, and now I do have that, like, and if I let it go and I didn't, even in that first, because we do that often, like obviously I felt like exercising for the last many months and I haven't, right? But I guess this week I was like, let's follow that feeling of, giving it
Like
a,
do it.
yeah, giving it a chance. And if it goes nowhere, okay, fine. But if it does go somewhere, then I don't want to lose out on that, train. So, but yeah, who's to say?
Yeah, I mean like there's been like I feel pretty good in that like I was able to test it this week.
Yes.
So that was neat. Um, so that definitely contribute to like the momentum in my head of like, oh,
Oh
like now there
yeah.
are all these ideas,
Right.
uh, and even though they are out of scope, um, they contribute to like wanting to
Yeah.
work on it.
I think you should pursue it either way. Um, if the feeling emerges again, um, because it could also, like, it could also help kickstart me and my sort of like lack of momentum as well. Like, you know what I mean. I'm saying it selfishly. It's not even. I'm not even saying it for you. I'm actually just saying it for me. It's um, it has the power to build sometimes. Having
Yeah,
that
we'll
said,
see.
you did get time. Actually, I have one more question for you. Then I'm curious: would you have done user testing live, like even if it was a 15 to 30 minute session?
I thought about it. Like even like maybe not live. That feels kind of I don't know. Maybe recorded and
Edited?
yeah, like I don't know if anybody wants to watch me like type for
Oh, I
like half an
see.
hour.
No. Oh, yes, yes. actually, because that's what, like, I feel like that's the rawness of a live stream. Is like it's precisely that it's not edited, that it's more human. Uh,
I mean, it's more that like I might be self-conscious about
okay,
what
yeah,
I'm thinking out loud
got it.
versus like privacy.
Okay, then, uh so did you consider while testing this then, because presumably you have feedback that you're going to share momentarily. So as we build into that, was it important for you to have realist data, like your own actual thoughts, go into the system versus say generating stuff from like ChatGPT and testing it? Like, and would you have considered only doing uh, a ChatGPT based testing?
um, I think it was important that it was like realish, at least realish data, um, because I think like I mean we'll go into the notes soon enough, but like a lot of the learnings have more to do with like how I think than like what's on the screen, I guess.
Got it. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean that being said, let me. So I think I. Oh no, what happened? Okay. I also like restarted my computer during the week and was like, oh no, what happened? Like, what happens to the information?
Did you go back and
um,
check?
I did go back and check this morning, and it is there.
Okay. Yeah. Um, but there was a chance that it could have been gone if the sandbox that we're using generates a new URL for it, because all the data that the browser stores for cookies, for local storage, and for IndexedDB is associated with the URL or the domain slash URL.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious about where we go from here because like there are I don't know like I feel like one there is like it's the complicated path, but I also wonder if
Mm.
there are like emerging themes
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
might
Let's
explore
go for it.
instead. So let me just share my screen. I'm not sure what's the best way to do it because I have a bunch of like notes, but I think it's best if I share like the flow as I talk through it rather than my notes. Um,
Hey, it just occurred to me, you being the only one testing is kind of like, it's not exactly, but it's kind of like us testing under a feature flag. I don't know why I had that thought, just a random thought out of nowhere. I'm just thought I'd mention it.
yeah, yeah. And you don't even have to feature flag anything.
Exactly. Didn't even have to code anything, any feature flags.
um, so I guess right off the bat, this is like about how many entries is this? A week? I didn't do it every day, but um, I guess right off the bat, noticing that there's no like dates, which is confusing. It's like, when did I feel great? Um,
Yeah, that's because, well, we didn't implement the dashes. Remember, like the gaps.
right. Yes. Okay. Right. I also wonder if we need to. Like,
If you have the date exactly there,
yeah,
you
like,
think?
what if we just
Yeah.
have the dates here?
Yeah,
um,
that's actually easier than doing the gaps.
yeah, like the dates being here, I think it would make things easier. And also, at least personally, I'm not really writing multiple times a day. I don't think. Maybe one of the days
Yeah,
is like 2 times a day, but like I don't think it's like a frequent event.
I think, yeah, that makes sense.
Um, and then there are some like bugs around, just like what happens when. So this
Yeah,
might
I
be.
I was holding that back. I was like, bro, what is that? What is that? What are these gaps because of blank? Who coded this? That's what I want to know.
I don't know what happened to this one. Like, so I know why the you were feeling didn't populate because today I was like, I'm not feeling any of these these things.
Oh, so you
If
clicked ahead without. Oh, I see.
but I think I selected themes, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Okay.
And then there are like some smaller things like when you select only one feeling, it still says end.
Oh, great bug. Great bug. Thanks, AI.
Um,
I'm just
um,
kidding.
yeah, like, but let me go from the top. Just also looking at my notes because I have not journaled for the last 2 days, so it's not
Mm.
the freshest. I think this was fine. Like at this point, ooh, okay,
Are you zoomed in by any
maybe,
chance?
maybe, yeah, I am. Oh,
Yeah.
this is interesting. I zoomed in because okay, you'll see, you'll see.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm feeling great, and at this point, like I feel like we need more feelings.
Didn't you get a feeling cheat sheet
Yeah,
from your supplier?
yeah,
From your feelings dealer?
yeah. We should populate like the database with more feelings.
That'd be great.
Um,
I agree.
because a lot of the times I'm looking at this and just being like, no, I'm not, no, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Um,
with you.
so I like that. I also like the idea of like if I select one, like what if there are like other relevant ones that like I don't know come up or something. But I don't think that's necessary.
That's a weird use case, right? Because what if you select proud and you go all the way back down? Because I think I might have tested for that use case. Now drag the slider all the way down
Yeah.
so that proud disappears.
Ah, yeah,
Right now it's gone. So like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
up top the proud still kind of lingers. Whereas if you go to the other side to look for something, um, your pride is gone now,
Yeah.
right?
that's that's one way to put it. Yeah, that was the other thing because there weren't a lot of positive feelings. I kept finding myself like going like, oh, like I
Yeah,
feel another thing here, but then I notice
totally.
the other thing. Um, so that's that.
And then how do you feel about, because we didn't implement any error checking, which means like should
Mm.
you be able to continue here without any feelings, or because you don't select any feelings, do we assume that your actually is complicated?
Yeah, yeah. That was the other thing. I think like a lot of times the feelings emerge as I'm journaling,
Yes.
which I thought was interesting because I was like, okay, like even if I selected some stuff, like what I end up journaling about can bring out like not only like new feelings, but it could even be in conflict with what I originally put down. So I'm almost questioning like the order of things. Um,
I have a thought there, which is what if instead of questioning the order of things, although we should separately, we use it as an opportunity to use the AI to point out the conflicts, perhaps, like or to suggest extra things. Like I wonder if there's learning in like even you as a person, not as like product builders, but
yeah,
you as a user to say, "Hey, I felt this, and then I wrote this," and then being told about sort of the subtle differences.
yeah. I like one thought I noted down was like I almost wanna see like feelings get detected as I type.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but on the other hand, I'm like maybe that's distracting from
You're
the
gonna you're
journaling
gonna have to
experience.
bring we're gonna have to use your API key for OpenAI. If we're doing that, I feel like that now we've gone a step too far, Mary. If I have to, but we could try that out. I think,
Or maybe it's like a every I don't know paragraph or like
yeah. I think we should feel fairly comfortable with building a throwaway feature like that. We might not have to do it initially, like because I feel like okay, we're slightly away from kind of our initial end to end, but we're also very close to our kind of like spiritual end to end. You know what I mean? Like okay, we don't have a calendar, but like you have a fairly good sense of the flow. And so I think we could prioritize in terms of like, hey, let's actually, yeah, deprioritize certain things and then reprioritize even just the aspect of play. So while I agree that it can be distracting, it would be fun to see how distracting it really is. And we can actually, it could be a throwaway feature that we learn from.
I have more distracting ideas.
Okay, fantastic. But I do want to say um, before we even jump into the idea of what I was suggesting earlier, which is like using AI to tell us the differences between what you selected and what you wrote, is we have a simpler problem to solve ahead of that, which is we don't have enough feelings. Like
Mm,
there, and so I think
yeah,
what if that in itself is like a
yeah,
better way to address that?
true, true. That also feels more straightforward to
Yeah,
use.
exactly. Like that's
Like
immediate
it
feedback.
feels like it's a good thing no matter what, too. I think. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, I'm sure there are downsides to like having too many options, but I don't know.
I would love to see how it feels. Like honestly, it's like a very it is a very tactile thing that you have to see. Like oh, move the slider, get the feedback, and then decide what feels good.
Yeah. But here during the journaling is where today I feel great. Oh, I also cannot type. Um, Here is where I was like, oh, like this is so tiny. Maybe because I'm
Okay,
getting
yeah.
old, but I'm like, I want to make this bigger.
Yeah, that could be feature number one.
and and the other thing about like it being small is not just like it's not just that I can't see it. I can't see it, by the way. I can see what I'm typing. Um, it's more like as I type like a sentence, I'm like, oh my god, I'm still
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
didn't do anything. Um,
I wonder if you're able to visit the URL on your phone. I would love for you to get a phone experience and see if there's obviously we could style separately, like we can make it larger on this interface and different on the phone interface. But now that you bring it up, I'm super curious, given the way the elements are, how they how they turn up on a phone, because that was our initial kind of play, right?
yeah, I'm just gonna copy like my journal from this morning. Let me see if there's anything weird in
Do you want me to close my eyes, even though this will be streamed live to millions of people around the world?
Okay, I
With
think it's fine.
currently,
I think it's
let's
fine.
see how many people currently are viewing it. Yeah, 2,000 people currently watching live.
Okay, yeah, like this took me like 20 minutes to type. Also, I said I'm not unknowingly using Adnan's money. Oh
That's
yeah,
great. That
I did this.
I
I did this. I changed the OpenAI API to my own.
did you?
I did.
Oh no! See, what I wanted to
Just
do
this
was
morning. Just this morning.
oh no, what I wanted to do was build up kind of this like leverage point, later on, because I'd be like, Mary, look at my open API credits, Mary. I feel like I'm owed something as a result, but now you took that away from me. I don't get to
Well,
my
you are
manipulation
the
tactics.
you are the programmer, so you can do whatever you want.
That's not true. You're a programmer too.
Anyway, so I was here and being like, okay, like this is like I typed 20 minutes and I'm still like half, not even
Yeah,
halfway through
yeah,
the
yeah.
page. And for reference, usually when I'm journaling in the past, I'm doing it either. Actually, it's been a hot minute since I journaled by hand, so that would be a lie. Um, I am I am typing on an iPad, um, and my like target is usually like 2 pages that fill up
I
my
see.
iPad,
Okay, got it.
which is kind of arbitrary to be
Yeah,
honest
yeah.
sometimes, but it's just like okay, like I know that I've spent enough time processing my brain. Um, yeah.
Okay.
What was my point? Did I have a point?
Word count.
Oh yes. I, was that my point?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's related. It might not have been the point, but it's
yeah.
tangentially related, I feel.
I think I instinctively wanted to see a word counter. Um, Initially, I was like, oh, it would be nice if, like, as I type, there's some sort of indication that, like, it's like the momentum visualized.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I don't really care about the number itself,
Yeah, yeah.
which led me to this potentially wacky idea of, like, what if there is, like, a cute little, like, mascot of some kind? I'm picturing a cat that's, like,
Okay, all right.
typing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, when you're typing, it's typing. When you stop, it stops. It takes a nap when you, like, you know, stop typing for long enough. Um,
Okay, okay. So, um I just I'm for it. So, absolutely we should do it first of all. I just have some follow-up questions, okay?
okay.
um why?
Why? Um, okay. I'm picturing, I'm picturing like cozy like characters. Now the scope creep continues.
No, no, that's fine.
Cozy characters that like do ridiculously cute things. Like the cat is one idea. It could also be a panda that roll around lazily.
Okay,
Or
no,
it could be
I get
like
it. So you have your Mary.
wait.
I appreciate the suggestion. I feel like you still haven't gotten to the
Why?
why. You're doing more of the what. I
The
feel it's
why the
currently.
why is because like rather than a counter that give you a sense of like how much you've done,
Hmm.
it's more about like the motion, the motion of doing, I guess.
No,
Um,
I think you should absolutely follow it. Like obviously, I did the why, asked the why question in jest. I think that even if there isn't a why,
it's like a
um,
companion as you do your thing.
yeah, yeah. I think look, we did this kind of a thing even last time with Honeypot where we kind of focused early on like the core functionality bits and then we added some personality bits kind of like alongside that. And I feel like we're at that stage now here where especially for an app that you're building with such like a with an investment in this case should have your personality of what you like that this request is a very like hey I want to see this and people may share it or not but there'll be a chunk of people that do share that and people typically appreciate personality in an app right so we don't need a reason actually like we should do it even if it doesn't like hit a specific
Okay.
thing this is not our day job you know what I mean like
There is a little bit of functional like reasons,
don't even
but
tell me. Don't even tell me. Okay, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, because like one thing that I find can be challenging is like when you get the sense of like being stuck, um, and that might also play with like the earlier idea that we talked about of like OpenAI reading things as you go. But my thing is like I don't want any prompts if I'm not stuck. But if I'm stuck, it would be helpful to have like a gentle prompt,
Yeah.
like to mimic like that feeling of like having a friend sitting with you through whatever it is you're sitting with. Um, so that's also where the character idea kind of come into play of like okay like usually it's just doing its like silly thing, but
Hmm.
if you're stuck maybe it can say like hey, you mentioned this, like what's that about or whatever it is.
Where, are you aware of Clippy, Microsoft's Clippy tool?
Yes,
Is
yes.
that's the
Yo.
that's the that's the sense I got, but cuter, I suppose.
Okay, let
Uh,
me share my other screen because I need to show you my note.
it's Clippy. It's gonna be Clippy.
Literally what I wrote.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I think there's some very kind of technical things. I mean, not like technical, but kind of very like um, yeah, technical. I suppose in terms of figuring out what the trigger points are. Like obviously what the
Yeah.
animations are at one point, but what the trigger points are to do precisely that kind of thing. It's like what motions is it taking? Because some of them can be random, and then some of them are very triggered for specific reasons, like you haven't typed in a while, or maybe you've erased too many things, and
Mm.
there's so many things that we can, and a lot of them will be emergent, and that's fine. I think once we get started with some sense, the thing that you're talking about is, yeah, like it doesn't have to be super live, but it can be a periodic check-in with our AI friend to uh, to see what's up. It's something that we haven't used here because every request to AI is a single request. But we could also open a conversation thread with OpenAI, I believe, so that there's a building. So for every journal, there's like a building thing. Because I think even here we make no, we just make one request. But specifically, if we're making multiple requests, sometimes it's nice to prime the AI of like, hey, I'm gonna send you multiple bits. I want you to like look for these things or look for these things and look for these things. So they're not disjointed requests.
Yeah. Anyway, I feel like I have a lot of like brain dump ideas right now that I'm like I don't know where to go. But I guess let's get them out first.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what else? Do I have any
Would you be
notes?
okay if we didn't do any code this session? We just like
Yeah.
we
I
just
mean, yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
I
let's do
think
that.
it could be helpful to like get a sense of what's next.
Yeah, let's do that.
So let's say I don't think I have any other notes about the core. I'm calling this the core journaling experience because
Hmm.
like everything else, I feel like is more about like tagging than anything else, or like yeah, tagging or like ranking. Um, I felt instinctively spooked about clicking continue because I wasn't sure if it's gonna get saved, but that could just be me um, being a tester.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I would not have expected that. Like my default expression is when I am. Did we just hit a bug somewhere?
Maybe.
Did Did you click continue and it just popped us back here?
Yeah.
It also might be the environment, Mary. Like I'm not sure how much of that is related to like the code sandbox bits and how much of that is related to um, actual bugs. Though it's probably a combination. Do you want to try again?
Yeah.
Weird, because I weird. Okay.
Okay. And then when I got to the themes, I felt disappointed. I don't know why. I mean, I had some ideas.
Yeah, I demand to
I
know who chose these themes. I demand to know. How
I just
disappointing.
I think maybe it's similar to like how like there weren't enough feelings, but like not for this journal entry in particular, but there were
Yeah,
definitely days that I would talk about a lot more um, juicy themes
yeah,
that I'm like, oh, is this it? Um, or maybe it's not even about the themes. It feels like it did not fully acknowledge all of the things I typed.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that feeling of acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
Um,
Would you then potentially be open to AI suggested themes um, beyond what kind of ours are here?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when I hit finish, Yeah, I guess this was the biggest one. Was just like, oh, I have no way of going back to the
Yeah.
entry itself. Which,
Also note
yeah.
that the themes weren't saved.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's definitely a bug there in terms of like maybe if you remain with the default themes, it doesn't trigger something.
Or maybe
Could
like if you don't select any feelings.
feelings, yeah, it could be either or. So and because like we were only testing like super happy path while building, it's possible that those trigger points are causing that. But yeah, sorry to your original point. Yeah, absolutely, you should be able to click through and and look at what you typed, especially if you're nervous about it not being saved. Now it's confirmed that it's gone.
Yeah, I started copy pasting like my journal entry to like my
Yeah,
Cocoon doc because I
yeah,
was like, I don't know how to get it back. And
yeah, yeah,
um, cool. I think that's most of
yeah.
the ideas. Yeah.
Actually, one thought I had before that I didn't want to share, because
Didn't?
I wanted, yeah, I didn't want to share because I wanted to
Okay.
emerge in a different context. But I guess I can throw it out there because it's one of those things where I think you had suggested something that you wanted to build and it needed data storage. And I was like, oh, maybe it was this app, but maybe not. I don't know. But I was like, oh, there's some creative ways we can figure that out. One of my thoughts was actually to use the Notion as a database,
Mm. Hmm.
um, which is a super interesting thought where you might provide your Notion API key. I don't even know if this is possible, to be honest. I haven't looked at Notion's API, but it's just a feeling, which is what if you had a space and we just created and stored the stuff in Notion? Now there's like issues of like two-way sync because it can be edited in Notion, whatever. But at the same time, there might be some
Yeah,
value to that kind of a thing. I really like that idea.
I like that because like it would like if someone already has an existing thing that worked for them, like for example journaling on Notion,
Yeah,
we're not like forcing them to do a whole new setup.
sure.
Um,
Or even if you do use this, it still gets like it's immediately visible to you in Notion in a structure. So it doesn't matter kind of how it's incoming. We might be able to pick up your journals from Notion as well, but then you don't get to do this feelings interface, right? So there's like pros and cons to it, and then vice versa, where we just like literally use it as our data store. So um, it'll get saved in the browser, and we'll pump it into Notion as well, so you don't feel like your data is kind of being consumed by this like evil app, evil, evil mood journaling app.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Um, my instinct is to like throw some of these onto like a whiteboard and try to make sense of it.
Yeah, I think, but even before we go there, I think the easy wins that we were kind of already discussed were
Yeah.
more feelings, and then B, kind of access to an individual entry, even if just even to view, right? Not even to edit or anything. Just I want to see what my entry was at a certain point, and that on like it, I would love to see like the feelings is fine. You could just like provide the feelings in the same format that we have the current feelings,
Yeah.
and then with the page thing, I mean, with you kind of taking a break next week, I don't suspect I'll be seeing mock-ups of the. So I'm happy to like take a shot when like next week I can. Yeah, I don't even know what we're doing for next week. I can just come in and code those bits. You know what I mean? Like that are kind of fairly straightforward, and then if you have any visual sort of or UX based feedback, then we can modify those. You don't have to feel like you need to like mock any of that stuff up right away. I can. Those are not blockers for me to continue.
Okay. Does it feel like it's fair to, for now, deprioritize it's complicated?
It's totally up to you, honestly. Like it just depends on what you want to get done in relation to it. Like what takes its place.
Um, More feelings.
Yeah, more feelings for sure. But more feelings is not like I. It's really
That's true.
that's a you providing the feelings thing and then loading them. So it's not a big. That's not a huge thing. But yeah,
And
absolutely, it
then
comes first.
I think being able to select feelings across. I don't know how to describe it, but like when you like change the slider, being able to like retain what's selected. Is that
So
how to
yeah,
describe it?
yeah, I see what you mean. Um, as a non-user, I have some concerns, but they're not like relevant, right? Like I think we should implement it and see how you behave. It to me it feels like you're kind of cheating because
Mm,
you're kind of not committing to how like your
yeah.
in like initial thing, but maybe like maybe you should be cheating. You know, like I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that's what it feels like,
Yeah, and
which means that
maybe it's not as important when there are more feelings in the library.
that's the question I have because like if you're I guess my raw instinct is if you're scrolling up and down in terms of that mood level in order to reveal feelings that you're feeling, then why don't we just show you all the feelings up front? And then you choose and maybe like do we need a mood
Yeah,
um,
maybe.
level then? I think that's my instinct. So I'm not against
Mm,
it per se. It's just like it seems to me that the level thing becomes a bit more superfluous if you're going to go back and forth in order to that's like
okay,
that's
maybe
like
we
that's
can
like
leave that till later.
yeah, yeah.
Um, do we still want to make journaling and theming optional? Like make it skippable?
If it's skippable, then well, I guess journaling is already skippable, isn't it? Like you could,
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
I don't think I've tested actually.
yeah. I don't remember what happens
Let's see.
either. So, and theming is already optional. Remember, it just says because of blank.
So if
So
I right. Oh, okay. And oh, okay, it's skippable.
yeah, but this is weird, right? Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing here, even on this page? So I think what we need here is some guidance on how we store and display. Like, would you say you're feeling these things and no because of? Because like you didn't journal.
Hmm.
Or do we show you just a list? If you don't journal, we just show you the default list of all themes.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the way to go.
Do you do you mind just noting that down in the Notion thing because I'm gonna forget? Like these are changes I can make without any further kind of details, right? Because nobody watches these streams to figure out what was discussed. Okay, more feelings, show all themes, bigger font. Yeah, these are great kind of like smaller changes for usability. Would love for you to try on the phone.
Mm. How do I test it on the phone? Like,
You
do I
try and
just
copy paste the URL that you see within the Code Sandbox interface and like message it to yourself. What's funny about it, like feeling that you might lose your entry, is we're actually saving that entry on every keystroke.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So like
Uh,
maybe it's just about like showing
yeah.
faster.
Yeah. Exactly. Like it doesn't have to be instant. Even like, what if like you have those? Sometimes you have that loading thing to show you that a saving thing has happened and
Mm.
it disappears. Um, and because it's based on us, we can show it for as long as we want, as often as we want. Like it's totally up to us.
Okay. Visual indication.
Yeah, like the moment you stop typing, yeah, if you stop typing for like 100 or 200 milliseconds, we show you some autosave thing.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna tag myself on things here. 'Cause I'm not gonna. I need to provide my big sheet of feelings.
I actually want to talk about how you're going to go about devising this anime cat. That's what I really want to know. How does this cat come to life?
I don't know. I don't know, but it makes me excited.
This cat and this panda. Do they ever both appear at the same time? Like, are they friends?
Oh, I don't know. Like the idea that I had is like, oh, like you can choose your little like companion, and you can go as like, oh, and what if like you can like customize it to you?
No, it could be worse. It could be worse. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
We pick your companion based on the feelings that you entered in your mood level.
Ooh.
So not just that, the mood of this, I don't even know how we're gonna do any of this. Okay, but the mood of your companion also
Oh.
is a reflection of the mood. Is it the inverse mood? Is it matching your mood? I don't know. I'm just saying this is gonna be epic. I again, no idea how we go about like. Do you know? Do you have like a thought
I
on like,
have no
hey,
idea.
I'm gonna go to the SVG creator thing, and would you hire someone to do it?
Maybe.
I don't even know what to ask them.
I mean, I will have to do some research for sure. Um, but just to give you a sense of how excited I am about this
No, I
makes
get
me
it.
more.
But
Okay.
I feel like even before you conveyed it, did I not immediately say we should do it? Because I feel like again, it's so like it lends an extra thing to it. This is not an app. This is not your accounting software. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah, and
Um,
then like also like maybe with some music.
yeah. I can also imagine like, and maybe you thought about this is exactly how you pictured it, which is like sometimes if you this is so dumb. You know how cats can actually get moody sometimes. So what if the cat reaches over into the text box and like just slaps a word away? Like, or at least points to it, like because it's like it's
Be
breaking
like, what
that
the fuck is this?
edge. Yeah, like what are you doing? I'm just sitting here and I'm not seeing any progress. And it starts like just reaching into the text box as if it's like as if a cat, so it's like as if a cat is putting its hand into like a pond and just
I
like
like that.
it just kind of messing with it.
I like
Um,
that. It sounds hard.
I don't even know. Again, any of this, I have no clue. I again, dude.
But isn't that exciting?
Listen. I was struggling with the animations we had in a honeypot. What are you talking about? But it's been very interesting to see what effort that takes. Like it's not, like it's definitely doable. So it's not outside of her reach. I have an idea, which 100% will regret, is we should invite a common friend we have to help us
Oh my
implement it.
god.
Someone who has helped us before. Remember when I was trying to center that icon
Mhm.
in the button? Do you know exactly? We were speaking to him not 50 minutes ago,
Yep.
and I would love to invite him to help us implement like this kind of a feature. What a joy! I feel like really like
we should
that
pitch it.
excites me. Actually, that excites me more than the feature itself. That's I'm like okay, 100% we should pitch it, and see what like I he's very he keeps to himself generally. Um, so no, I don't mean that. Like you know what I mean. Like I feel like it takes a next level of sort of energy to show up on a live stream, um, and it's easier to have that energy in like a smaller group. I mean, the live stream is a small group, mind you, but but it's just it's there's a just a mental barrier to perceive it that way. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, potentially. We'll,
Yeah, why not?
we'll see.
I think it'd be really cool.
I also feel like off this like you can do this based on that is really cool, but like even just the basic of like having an animation
Yeah,
could be like that's like step one.
yeah, that's a starting point. That's a starting point. But I do think it's worth thinking about trigger points and that
The
kind of thing, right?
ideal.
Yeah, yeah, like because let's say if we were to commission someone to do this, maybe you commissioning yourself, um, then we do at least need some starting sequences or animations that we want, and at least that starting point is relevant of like how important a certain animation would be. So rolling around, um, feeling exasperated, or whatever it might be, like what are the things that they need to do.
Cool. So you don't hate it.
Not at all. Like, okay. How? First of all, why did you? Why? I demand an explanation of why you phrased it that way.
because because it's such a like a non-essential thing.
But I feel like we've done most of this. You know what I
I
mean?
guess
Like
so, yeah.
even before, like even typically in projects, this is my entire. It's like the more we hyper diverge up front, we delay exactly this moment, the emergent. Like that's actually my whole thing. Like, and it does get misinterpreted as kind of me like trying to limit what we're doing, but it actually is. I want to speed up getting to this precise point. Um, and that kind of feedback, like, it's just there's nothing like it. I'll tell you that. I feel like we did most of the core elements,
Yeah.
and most of the things kind of withered away automatically. But imagine us like kind of going through all the tree branches up front. Then it's so hard to get started. It's so hard to focus. And now like it's in your hands. Now a cat emerges. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what we want from users.
Is
But
it?
yeah, absolutely. So it's almost the opposite. Like I yearn for this moment, where it's like, oh, somebody's using it. It's again, it's tactile. It's not a thought.
Cool. Mm, okay, I feel like everything else is already accounted for here. So I guess I can take this away and do some research and we'll pitch it to our common friend.
I would love that. I think that'd be such a delight. Um, and yeah, happy to, like I think, yeah, I'd be super curious to see what his feedback would be, and I'm sure we can accommodate. Like he doesn't, whatever, camera doesn't have to be on. If not, like like anything is fine, to be honest. And yeah, like I feel like I have homework to do on like how to accommodate these type of um like this type of animation, and like I'm sure this tutorial is on YouTube, so we'll be able to see.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was thinking about this and I, I was I was thinking about like, oh, it would be cool if like if we could do this, and if Adnan doesn't like it, then then it would be cool if I could get my coding skill to a point where I can figure it out somehow.
Oh,
It was
can we
mostly
can we briefly talk about that? I'm actually so curious because um, some of the feedback in the last
stop
coding,
sharing my screen.
so, we actually have comments, Mary. Do you see them?
Oh, we do.
May Media? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. May 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 maybe May Media UK says, "Hi, we have a developer community. I would like to invite you to. I think others will enjoy your content. We would love eyeballs on our content. That's the like, you know, we're not marketing people as and 100%. We're a Discord, like a Discord of our own, or like our Discord account. You know, like a Discord login or like a Discord.
I
You
have a
know,
Discord logging.
yeah. What does it mean when someone says, "Do you have a Discord?" I don't even know.
I
We
think
don't. We're not on Twitter. We're only on YouTube. Um, just streaming. We're barely on YouTube, to be
because we're
honest.
not marketing people.
Yeah, we're barely even on YouTube, to be honest. But would love to hear about your developer community. Happy to take a look. And as if there's a URL, I'm sure it's part of your account, so we could come back here later and search. But thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for finding us. Um, where were we? Okay, learning coding. And one of the things was some of the feedback in that last session of like, oh, we're feeling lost. Did you also feel that kind of sense, or maybe not to that degree?
I was feeling excited.
Okay, but because I was surprised to hear that, I was like,
Okay, I could see. I think because I mean, is this relevant to the stream?
yeah, because it's about coding.
Okay. I think your teaching style was different than like the past sessions, and I think you knew that too. Um,
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I see what you're talking about. Yes, but more I'm talking about even before I started.
oh,
Because it was like, oh, we're with this like, oh, we tried to access this AP, we learned this API, now we try to access a different one, and feeling kind of lost.
I really enjoyed the API stuff. I
Yeah,
feel like it opened. It's like that SpongeBob meme of like possibilities.
yeah, absolutely. I don't know the meme, but I understand the sentiment.
Okay.
But then when you're trying to access the other API, did you feel like, oh, this is kind of like a bunch of things that are getting in my way, or I'm feeling kind of lost, or I'm not sure how all the pieces fit together?
I felt more lost when I didn't know what I'm trying to do. Like
Yeah,
like if I didn't have a goal, it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this API? You know?
yeah. Um, I think both of those are interesting skills, and they're developed also by that sense of feeling lost, and then having found after. Which is why, like, my whole concern is um, not to get to a point where it feels discouraging, right? Because then you're kind of like, hey, is this worth doing? But then I guess I discovered now, because you mentioned it, I didn't even have a second thought about the lesson itself, mind you. But now you mentioned it, you were like, your teaching style was different, and therefore what, Mary? Excuse, that wasn't even on my. I mean, it was on my radar a little bit, but not like. But I actually did not think much of it, to be honest. I think that's fine. You should feel that way a little bit, from my perspective, because because the buildup is so hard, and I'm curious from your perspective because there's so many layers, and we've touched some fundamentals. It's like getting to know the Lego blocks but not entirely having an idea of how they fit together. Um, and so it's hard for me to pace because you do need to see how things come together and kind of face that harshness even. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it was like I liked it. Like not having all the answers, I think is fine as long as you're moving forward. Like
Yeah,
as long as there's no like full block, I guess.
yeah. I actually think there was nothing.
Which I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever gotten to that point.
yeah. I think even in that lesson, you just weren't in control. You know what? When you're watching, it's you're sort of
Mm.
not in control, so it feels there's some more distance. But I would even like say there was nothing in that lesson that was really beyond reach, to be honest. And you might have felt less that way, or other folks in the lesson might have felt less that way if we did a follow after, like repeat after me. But I purposely didn't want to do that because, um, like I want you to feel like kind of an end to end reach, which I didn't get to, unfortunately. Um, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Actually, I feel like so funny enough, if you go back to the recording and look at my journal from this morning, I actually wrote a little bit about coding, because I really enjoy it because I feel like in my role as a designer, there's a lot of mm, it's a lot of points where you can feel fully lost, like when you can feel like I have no idea where I'm supposed to go next.
Right.
And I really like what at least out of like the times that I've learned coding so far, I feel like there's always something that can be done. Like there's always a path that I can follow. There's always an inkling that I can follow. Like there's always something to be tried, and you're never so far. You're never like
Yeah.
fully stuck. Like you can be pretty stuck, but not like you're never like I'm all out of options.
I'm curious about that. Do you think that's a function about like being in a learning phase? Because presumably, as you're designing now, you're in kind of like the building phase, versus a learning phase is more guided, right? Like it's more tried and tested. Like even the questions that you're getting
Yeah, maybe.
are fairly common. But I
But
wouldn't mind. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
but I think a part of it is also like as a designer, most of the problems you're solving have no answers. There's no definitive like yes, this fulfill the requirements. Like there are some for like certain parts like usability or like I don't know whatever else that can be can be like
Yeah.
measured or checkboxed. Um,
Okay, but there's also this idea of um, I mean, okay, regardless of the idea, I wouldn't mind showing you at some point some of the some of the deeper level challenges from a very like technical perspective. And that might still be a bit kind of beyond your reach based on where you are in your coding journey, but it does give you an idea of like, and they're not even just like specifically coding related per se, they're more like coding plus infrastructure related. Like, oh, here's the kind of traffic we're dealing with, how do we handle that? And some of that is coding related, like raw code, but other of it is like, how do we structure the servers, the servers that are serving these things? um, yeah, I wouldn't mind actually doing that at some point. And then the other thing I wouldn't mind doing is, um, I think in our experience here, because a lot of what we're developing is net new, um, it's different when you're modifying existing code that has kind of its roots, like it's like a tree that has roots in there.
yeah,
You can't just like with something that's still growing, you can still take it out and reroute it fairly easily. It's much easier to do that. But with a something that's been growing there for a while, it grows around things. It grows, like, it accommodates itself, and it's a different beast in its own.
It's a
And
good
so,
analogy.
yeah, and I wouldn't mind actually showing you code that, because then I think as a designer, it would give you some, like, deeper reasoning into, like, or like what kind of impact a design decision has from a coding perspective as well, where, like, something that seems simple, from and vice versa, something that seems difficult might actually be fairly easy to implement. And so there's, like, instinctual notions you have of what's simple and what's difficult are only actually answered sometimes when we get to coding, or looking at the code and reviewing the code. um, which is why it's also, like, the whole cycle to me is, like, super fascinating as we're building anything. It's like always something emerges.
Hmm. How did we get here?
um, about We got here by talking about how we got here, because we're talking about coding, and we're talking about ideation at the start, mid, afterwards, and thoughts on, like, oh, if Adnan doesn't like it, then then
Well, we all have to figure it out.
no, I have to figure it out. What are you talking? I still have to figure it out.
Okay.
So,
Well, it's like if
you know,
if you if you didn't like it, then you can reject it. Then we don't have to figure out anything.
no, I think we actually should. Like, again, like, my hidden agenda is precisely to get to this point sooner than later, and
Cool.
yeah, get it to the hands of users sooner than later, and that does mean, like, sacrificing earlier ideas that we had, which we ultimately did. Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, the feedback is so good.
Yeah, I'm really glad that like we got here quicker than quicker. I say quicker, but it's week 10.
I know, right? I know, right? But the time feels very different than the first project, to be honest. Like, it just internally, I think my internal clock has shifted, which is why my behavior shifted, for some reason. Um, where do we go next?
um well, I think there are some like we have that list of things that feel more certain, and then there are
Yeah,
things to explore, um, and then there are things that are deprioritized for now.
and um, will you be working during your break on Cocoon? Like, I don't know what type of a break you're like, because now I asked
Oh
specifically
yes,
because
I
it
am
seems like
taking
you
a
take
break next week.
right.
I don't think we talked about that really.
It came up a few times, but we didn't explicitly.
Yeah. I am away Tuesday to Thursday, but other than that, I am around.
So wait, so Friday you will be on the Friday then? Like, is that your plan? Okay, I didn't know. Okay. Um, and then will you be finding time in between? Because I was specifically curious around it because if you sort of stumbling upon these exciting thoughts, and then, like, what do they go on pause in terms of your thought process and your kind of ideation on it, or will you continue to work on it on and off?
um,
You think?
I want to work on it,
Okay.
but no promises.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Like I want to at least do some like see some examples of like other other patterns to like observe at least.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you had any existing kind of app or interface in mind that had this kind of interaction, and that would even give me a better idea to research how to go about implementing something like this. Like, I have a decent idea of what you want, but, like, just the concreteness really helps. it seep in?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I can also try and find it myself as well.
I did come across like this girl that I follow on Instagram who is a designer and developer, and
Oh, cool.
she creates these like fun little like apps for for views. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, this is my this just before this was my goal for you from the start. Remember the previous live stream I suggested.
I don't know. I don't think I can keep up like
Yeah, it's a
the
lot.
consistency of like a content creator. I don't know. But anyway, she creates these like fun little things. Like for example, like she created this cute like egg timer, and it's just like cute animations. It's literally a timer with cute animations. That's it.
Okay, so you do have a like example of an app that has cute animations. So I'm expecting links to be shared with me.
Okay, I will share some of the work. Like like she doesn't have like anything that has like direct interaction with like a user input field, for example.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I like the style of like art.
Yeah, yeah, would love to see. Okay, I'm also realizing the lighting in my. Can you see the lighting here? I look like
What do you look like?
I don't know, like I'm emerging out of the chat like this, like
It's
angry,
very moody.
yeah, angry, shady figure emerging out of the shadows, ready to start an argument or worse. I don't know.
How do you feel about like I guess having like two tracks of like the more concrete stuff like we need more feelings, let's do that. I guess that's a me thing. Let's increase the font, um, stuff like that, while we explore the more out there stuff.
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts. I think that's fine. It's just a matter of timing per se because my goal has been to do all coding on like live, so it's unlikely. So we'll have to just figure out how much and what, and that's fine. We'll figure it out then. Maybe this will be a Kickstarter for us to kind of do actual in betweens.
Cool. Um, do we do we want to call it?
Yeah, I actually do want to call it. To be honest,
Oh, you
um,
were just waiting for me to say it. Damn.
no, I was gonna say it. I just I didn't know if there was anything else. But yeah. I'm down to call it. I think, and yeah, I don't have any blockers, and anyway, so if the urge did emerge, for me to do an in between, I have what I need.
Yeah, maybe I will do a test on mobile thing at some point
Oh, live?
live. We'll
Okay,
see.
that's yeah. Even honestly, even if it's like 15 minutes, Mary, you
The
should
other
do it.
thing is, I tried. Okay, my computer was out of commissions for like 2 days, and I was like, oh, I want a journal. Like I can't. I didn't know that you can just copy the link, and do it on your mobile. So I was like, let me try. Like just because I'm in this phase of like testing out journaling, I tried like using voice notes to like journal, and less. It was less weird than I thought. Let's
Okay,
just say.
interesting. Yeah, I was curious where. Okay, yeah. And so where did you use the voice journaling
I
feature?
just used like the native voice note app, um, but I was more curious about like how I would feel doing it,
Mm-hmm.
because when you're typing, like you can pause and like you can erase
Oh,
things.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you're like, oh, like I phrased that weirdly, you can erase that and like structure your thought with voice notes. Like you can't undo. you know, like you whatever is
Yeah.
said is out there. So I thought that was interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that's another feature that we ended up not implementing.
Yeah,
If you think
and
about it.
I'm actually okay with it for the most
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind revisiting it at some point, but I feel like we have enough on our plate right now. And I feel like once we implement sort of the feelings thing, being able to view your things and like text large, like once we sort of get sort of the initial feedback changes in, I feel like it's gonna feel like a very almost a different app in a sense. I'm like more towards completeness, even though it's not like a whole lot of work for us to get there. So I think that's pretty cool.
Um, cool. I think that's
Lead
it.
us out. Lead us out, boss.
All right. We did not do any design or code today. We just talked.
Yeah.
But I think it was good. Like
What
to
a waste of time. Am I right?
1 hour and 11 minutes.
11 minutes. All right. Yeah. No, we have paths to pursue.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We have cats to design. Cats and pandas to
Cats
design.
and pandas. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. I think that's it for today. We'll see you next Friday. Sometime around 5-ish.
Five ish,
More or less.
more or less. Sometimes more, sometimes less.
Yeah.
Let's go home, everyone.
Are you clicking it?